It says he loves her as she rides away.
Which, I mean, you can't really blame him.
No, you can't really blame him, but I also feel like all this kissing and I love you and I'll miss you and all this affection, none of it should be happening.
No, it shouldn't. And also, they still have only known each other for like a hot second.
Weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I don't want to take this away from Richard and Caitlin. I really, truly don't. I'll bet everybody listening right now is like, yeah, but they're in love. Leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I get that. And I encourage this, obviously. Hello, fan of the series. But like just a couple of chapters ago, it was like reiterated that everybody understood this can never be a thing. Obviously it is.
And obviously they think he's going to get out of it or they wouldn't be leaving him.
Yeah, I just think that the other people in the party who also were privy to that conversation would have been like, dude, didn't we just talk about this? No, it can't be a thing.
I mean, yeah, it's a dick move on everybody's part every time you do something. You're like, but I wanted to grab your butt earlier and I couldn't do that, huh? But now you can stick your tongue down my throat. Great. I don't know where the boundaries are. Fun.
It's an exciting place to be in.
This is great. This is great. I'm having so much fun. There's no stress. Luckily for Richard, he finds himself alone.
Yep. On his way to the cave. Not the cave he'd rather be going to, but a cave nonetheless.
Right.
Ha.
He has to cross a river, do a bunch of shit to get there, but he gets there.
It's funny because it takes like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, all right, I'm going off on this journey by myself. Cool. At the cave.
Found the cave.
What the fuck?
It's kind of the same thing here, too, because he finds the cave. It's covered in drawings. There's hundreds of thousands of them, okay? Drawn in all different styles. There's no talent that needs to be had here. It's all about the message that is portrayed in them. He starts searching for a spell, even though he doesn't know what he's going to find. And at first, it seems like it's going to take a long time because there's so many of them. And like there's this whole issue with light, but it really doesn't take that long either. Because he tries to go back towards the mouth of the cave to get a torch. He can't. The spell is like blocking him.
Yeah, every time he goes back, it traps him. So every step he took towards this cave trapped him that much closer to the cave.
Right. Immediately, his brain's like, oh, can't see? I have a nightstone. That's a good idea. This is neat enough. It's going to be good. I'm going to take that out. Which seemed like a very fast, like, progression of thought to me. And I was like, oh, okay.
Risky move.
Yeah.
You were just with a boundary warden / survivalist / wizard. Get a fucking torch. Don't have one? Make one. Like, get something. Don't use the nightstone.
He couldn't reach it.
Not a good excuse.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could have tried to reach his sword towards the mouth of the cave, or maybe not have gone so balls to the wall forward and been like, run to the back of the dark cave. Oh, wait, I need a torch. Like, maybe start at the beginning and check out the drawings there and slowly work your way towards the back instead of just trusting that you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
that's what
constant vigilance, man. What are you doing?
But he takes it out and heads for the back of the cave. You know, the shadow people, they start kind of far away at first. Once he gets to the end of the drawings, he puts the stone away. He feels around in his pockets for the little nubbies and takes the stone back out. And then immediately he finds his drawing. That's kind of what I meant. Like, it took him a long time to get there, but in the end, he's like, oh, cool.
Here it is.
Oh, all right.
I think that was Terry just trying to, like, move the storyline along. He just needed Richard to get to the cave and then, I mean, spoiler alert, have this confrontation with James the artist. He's just like, all right, get him in there, go to the back of the cave, because why the fuck would he do that? And that's the only place. Because if he was anywhere near the mouth of the cave, save for this magic spell around him, Richard would just, like, leave the cave and be like, no, I'm not coming in there.
Right.
Fuck off. I have a sword.
I get the impression it's like a man-sized picture. So maybe it makes it a little easier to recognize, like, oh, okay, it's right there. But he sees it. It also has a map of where he was, like, captured. So he knows for sure it's me, Sword of Truth, map, got it. Okay, so the shadows are starting to get closer, and he realizes that the drawing is too large to erase the whole circle, and he tries to back up, and the poison wall is, like, at his back.
Yeah, it's like pressing him into the wall that the drawing is on. So use your belly and start erasing, man.
He takes the stone back out of his pocket, and that's when the shadows start, like, talking to him and reaching for him. So things are getting a little tense in the cave.
Yeah. I imagine he's starting to almost suffocate.
Yeah, it's making him like sick. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
I mean, I wouldn't laugh about that, but your impression was spot on.
And then conveniently, James shows up, and this is super great, okay? Because the shadow people were getting a little rough. They were getting too close. Richard can't fight him right now, so he had to put the stone away. And then James shows up with a torch. And he's like, hey, bud, I'm going to light it up for you and watch you die. Which is great.
It was the perfect James Bond parallel because the villain shows up just as the hero is about to get killed. And then he's like, here, let me explain the plan to you.
Yeah, let me villain monologue to you.
Exactly. Got a bad guy monologue.
And conveniently, I'm going to give you an idea. Erase the hand. Once Richard starts erasing the hand, James loses his goddamn mind.
Yeah, what are you doing? Hey, knock that the fuck off. What are you doing? Like, dude, you shouldn't have bad guy monologued. Now I know what to do.
Yeah. James starts painting a new picture on the wall. I don't know what he was going to do, like stab him or something weird in the picture. I really wish we got some idea of what James was going to do to the Seeker to stop him.
I mean, he should have just been shouting out loud his evil plan at that point.
Right.
I'm going to draw a thing, locking you into this thing and taking your sword away and rendering you vulnerable. Ha
ha ha ha.
But he didn't even have time to do that.
No, because Richard makes a line and creates a stump, and all of a sudden James starts screaming. So right before James dies, just like we were talking about in like a James Bond movie, he tells Richard who he was working for. He tells him the Mord Sith were the ones who hired him.
Right. As if this guy wasn't bad enough with his magic keeper spell, trapping Richard in a cave, almost suffocating him. Now we know that there's somebody even worse that this guy is working for. But like we said in the beginning of this episode, during the synopsis, the chapter starts off great and ends, well, not good.
Happy in the front, Mord Sith in the back.
Right.
Because when he leaves the cave, he is surrounded by men in leather, which seems like it's a whole other situation.
Yeah. They're soldiers.
There is a woman there who has skin-tight blood red leather on with a crescent and a star in yellow on her chest. So she's looking pretty nice in her little leather. And Richard's pissed.
Yeah, well, he knows he was trapped.
Yeah, and immediately she's like calling them on him. Get him, boys.
Attack, minions.
Yeah. And he's like, fuck you, I'm the bringer of death.
Right. Obviously, Sword of Truth comes out and he takes them on.
Yeah.
He kills two of them pretty spectacularly. And then he goes right for the woman since, like, she's the boss. So obviously you kill the boss and the rest of the guys, they might lose their motivation. And then out of nowhere, for the second time, he is smacked with, like, the pain of the sword. And then she stands over him smiling as he vomits blood.
Yeah, because it's not just like the normal, oh, I just killed somebody pain, apparently. It's like intense.
The worst pain ever. And he realizes that she has control over the sword's power. and that he made a really big mistake.
Yeah, because he can't control it. Normally, he can kind of like push it down and be like, I got it. You know, like, ooh, all right. But he can't. So she's in control, and she makes a comment about how she thought she was going to have to torture him before he used his magic on her, but she didn't. And that's cool, because she's still going to torture him either way. And he's like, what? Well, she does ask him if he wants the pain to stop, and he says no.
Yeah, not a good place to lean in, Richard. What the hell, man?
She tells him that he just has to stop thinking nasty thoughts, basically. He doesn't even have to do anything. He doesn't even have to say anything to her to make the pain stop. He just has to stop thinking bad things about her. Think happy things. Think happy thoughts, Richard, and everything will be good.
Yeah, all this pain is being directed, like, from his brain.
Yeah, apparently. She can, like, see his thoughts somehow. Or the magic can. Maybe she can't, but the magic can somehow do that.
And this is when she takes her moment to bad guy monologue, because, you know, they all fucking do it. And she explains that everybody knows who she is. She's Mistress Denna. Mm-hmm. She is a Mord Sith. And Richard makes a huge amateur mistake. Me and Jade were talking about this earlier. He's like, I don't care who you are. I'm not going to tell you where the Mother Confessor is, the first wizard is, the child that got away, the Box of Orden is, and I'm totally not the Seeker either. Like, he just, much like his vomit, just vomits out all the information. Like, oh, I didn't even know you had those people, but now I know what I'm going to torture you to find out.
Right.
Like, dude, no, why? Why would you say that?
Don't say anything. Like,
I'm not going to tell you where I hid the gold. And they're like, oh,
you have
gold? Okay.
Yeah, it was funny because he was like, I'm not going to tell you where Kaylin is. And then proceeded to explain who Kaylin was. No, if she doesn't know, don't fucking tell her.
And on top of that, this was a concept earlier in this book. Never give more information than is absolutely necessary. Somebody who you don't know could be very devious. They could have literally nothing better to do than to pore over every single word you told them and get any information out of that they can.
Right.
So just zip with the extras, man.
Right. And this chick was definitely not at Tamarang because we would have noticed her. Basically, Denna is like, I don't give a shit about confessors. I don't know why you're talking to me about them. I came here for you.
Yay.
I'm going to train you. You're from Westland, so you're stupid and you don't know anything. I'm wearing red because your blood's going to get all over me while I train you.
Oh, good.
It's going to be great.
For a minute, I thought it was a power move or something.
Yeah.
It's just to camouflage the blood.
Yeah.
I feel much better now. Thanks.
Yeah. It should be a comforting thing to you. We're not going to be, like, making stains. She also has a blood red dildo hanging from a chain. She says it's in a Geo. It's a pain dildo.
I'm sorry. Sip. Okay, Jade and I were talking about this earlier. I don't think it's a dildo. I think it's smaller than that.
They never describe the girth.
No, you're right. I looked it up and they don't.
They don't.
It could very well be a big vibrating purple monster. No, it's red.
It's red.
It's leather.
It's leather and it's a rod.
No batteries.
And it doesn't vibrate in the sense that you think it's going to vibrate, but it vibrates.
It gives pain tingles.
Yeah. It's super great.
Everybody listening just went, wait, what the fuck?
Wait, what the fuck? So she shows him how it works because she's a super nice lady and jams it into his ribs. And he screams, even though he doesn't want to, and like curls into a ball and cries a ton. She pushes harder and it breaks a rib and there's blood gushing down his side, and it's like a super fun time.
Yeah, it sounds real fucking awesome. So this is obviously a magical weapon. It's not like a shot covered in leather, so when you hit somebody with it, it's really fucking painful. It's that she just has to even lightly touch you with this thing, and it gives excruciating pain.
It's a taser dildo.
Taser dildo.
Yeah.